Estelle Sue is a tilt brush artist, and in fact she's actually a multidisciplinary artist because she works in so many different forms. She is a sculptor, an illustrator, a painter, and now that she's discovered tilt brush and VR, she is also incorporating that artwork into all her other disciplines. She has actually recreated in tilt brush a very famous piece of artwork by Gustav Klimt. He created a self-portrait and it's a painting and it's very famous, and we can have a look at it now, what Estelle Sue has actually done with that in tilt brush.
I started with a wire brush for the grass area, and I started building up different colors to create more depth and texture. The painting itself has a tremendous lot of textures in it, so I wanted to be controlled at the same time as building a lot of variation. Slowly building up the different colors with the flowers and different values within the grass. For the figure, I wanted to have a flat background for the figure first, and then adding some of the paper brush textures, as well as I think it was the flat brush as well. And I used the straight edge tool to create the texturing and patterning of the man's gown. I realized it's a huge challenge to paint textures in tilt brush. I have to paint each individual stroke, and texturing in Photoshop or traditionally is usually a little bit easier, but in tilt brush right now, I have to do each stroke individually, so I have to be very intentional about each mark that I make right now. The main focus of the piece is the kiss itself. It's a very intimate moment, and I really wanted to make sure I captured that. So a lot of the focal points that I had were within the faces and the expressions of the two figures. I used the colors that are in the original painting. So there's a lot of purples and oranges and yellows in the facial areas, and I had to find a way to blend those colors with the main skin color, which was kind of tricky because I can't mix paints in VR. It's just trying to figure out how to render without actually being able to smudge it all together. One of the interesting things that happened when I was painting it in VR, when I was doing the initial wireframe, is that the male body is so much hunched over this woman, it almost looked like it was too aggressive or too dominant. But I softened it in the colors and just really kind of softened it out and warmed it out a lot more. I didn't know how deep the painting should be because Klimt's piece is so flat, it's intentionally flat. The textures and the figures blend in with each other and they blend in with the background. So I wanted to stay true to that. Being a cube is that I wanted it to stay enclosed, stay intimate, and stay very much so personal to the two characters that are in the painting. It is their space and it is their world. I really love making those dashed lines that flow from the lady's dress into the grass and the ground area. That was really fun because it was just it was very meticulous to get each dash in its right spot, but the end result of it is very satisfying altogether.
So that video actually complements our learning really well, because as you know, we've been looking at the elements and the principles of design, and here Estelle, while creating the artwork, was explaining how she was achieving texture, using line and shape. Colour, she mentioned that she can't actually colour blend with the tools in tilt brush, and so she has to really select her colours well. She can't create texture, she has to create all her individual strokes. So these are considerations that she's making because she has that knowledge and understanding that underpins everything that she does as an artist. And that's really what we're trying to understand more is how the elements and the principles of design, once they're grasped, they can actually be such a useful tool for you to not only interpret and understand art, but also to be able to create great art yourself. So, hope you enjoyed that.